Hello and welcome back. Today's topic is on unity. Let's break it down. So why am I bringing that up? Because unity was actually brought up. Okay, I'll just start from the beginning. Gemini season. That's what we're in right now. Gemini season teaches us to completely accept all versions and all sides and all parts of us. When Geminis or Gemini season typically bears the challenge of two choices always. We talk about that a lot, the dualistic nature of things. But in Gemini season and Gemini signs, people with the Gemini zodiac sign typically have that all the time. So you're presented with this, and it branches to the two dual, but then having, which is normal, but then having this Gemini dual energy, it almost like breaks that duality up into four parts, not just one and two. And that's what makes it so hard to pick one, to pick an action, or to just go down whatever road, because they all could. They stem off the branches of the two. So it becomes more confusing, basically. And that's why Gemini season is basically like your dualistic season. It brings this to your apparent, brings this to your attention, But that's the question, though. How do you overcome that and not be overwhelmed and bogged down by the many options and many choices of options being presented, right? And that comes from self-acceptance. Now, why does that make sense? Why is it easier to make decisions or choose from the multitudes of possibilities in your mind? Why does that make it easier? Self-acceptance. Because when you accept who you are authentically, there really aren't that many choices. You can be presented with 30 choices, but there's really only two, or there's really only one, or there's really only whatever. There's not as many as you think if you know who you are. And if you accept who you are, you're not constantly trying to be who you're not. So that's what makes it easier. Clarity of intention. Know thyself. Accept thyself. Because then you work with who you are. You're like, actually, yes, there's 30 different options. However, based off who I am as a person, my energy levels, how I handle certain situations and experiences, the real option for me is really only number 1 and number 5, out of 30. And that's why it's, I say almost like abandon all and just go into the learning of self and self-acceptance and learning about that authentic nature. Because when we don't do that, and we are overwhelmed by the possibilities, the possibilities are endless, that spirals us into unsafe territories, where overwhelm can lead to anxiety, which can lead to self-harm. And self-harm isn't always what you think. Self-harm can be overeating, self-harm can be overexercising, overworking, or being too stagnant. Like, they're the extremes. Self-harm can be like that self-sabotage. Self-harm and self-sabotage are the same thing. So I'm bringing this up because this is the season of self-acceptance. And we were talking about this also in church on Sunday. The gospel was very much about the unity of man and how we can overcome our differences and our things that set us apart, and what usually has us kind of confrontating. We can rise above that if we find a common goal, or a common belief, or a common understanding, common value, common moral, whatever it is. We can rise above the differences and the stubbornness and find unity. So that, and Jesus's point, the gospel's point about this, what was being spoken, was the idea of, if we could just all kind of get on board with this religion and like the 10 Commandments, how we treat people, and we all just kind of like agree that we all treat people this way, then we can kind of like rise above what sets us apart, become a solid unit, and then have that clarity of intention because we're all on the same page. So that though, and then this had Father Charles talking about how the emblem of the United States has Latin that says like something in unity, meaning that yes, America was also founded on the basis of overcoming differences for a common unity, a common understanding, a common belief, or a common goal. So that was its original intention. It was the many, the few or the many, I think it was. That's what the Latin was. It's like the one amongst the many. It's like how we came together. So that then spurred thoughts to me as, okay, so when we're dealing with self-acceptance, it kind of plays back into this idea of finding that common goal. Because you cannot fully accept self until there is a higher purpose. Right? You're nitpicking all this. You're not looking at the big picture. You're not looking at the reasoning behind why you're so unique or why your life and experiences has brought you thus far. And we nitpick at the differences, and we try to give a little attention here, a little attention here, a little attention here, a little attention here, and that's overwhelming because there's so many facets to who we are as people. Especially if you've been through trauma, you start to get really confused on who am I and what is my trauma. But then you recognize neither one of those are the correct answer. You are now a new person with trauma. So these are now an integrated experience, and now the common goal for that integrated experience is balancing and maintaining a healthy lifestyle, even though, after trauma. So that personally for me is what made me feel more of a whole person for sure, is I'm reaching beyond all these little things and focusing on a common goal or a common value or moral that my entirety of being can get on board about. So okay, reading my notes. So common goal. Unity of self is for all parts of self to rise above for the common goal. So let's say you've got a piece of you that's a procrastinator, piece of you over here that's this, over here you're doing all that. Like, there's all these pieces that are working against you when you look at them as individual things. But and it makes it harder to play out and act upon fixing these things because we get so tunnel visioned in the symptom of it. The procrastination is the symptom of not wanting to do the thing. But here's the thing. That's when you break it down. Why don't you want to do the thing? Because you don't feel like it? It's not a good enough answer. What's the common goal for if you do the thing? Better lifestyle, better home life, better structure, better whatever it is that would become better if you attacked that procrastination, right? So you rise above the piece that is the procrastinator and you focus on what is your goal? What is your goal? What's the goal? Well, I want this. Let's say you want a neater, cleaner home. That's not even the end goal. Go further than that. Why do you want a neater, clean home? Oh, because it provides me clarity of intention. It provides me with more mental space. I'm able to relax better when I come home from work. Okay, what's the goal behind that? Why do you need to relax better when you come home from work? For better work-life balance. Why do you need better work-life balance? Because I want to be able to do things in my off time that also fulfill me. Okay, what are those things? Find that thing. Now that is the reason you don't procrastinate. You see how if you make it into a solid one unity, this is a union, we are now, you can almost overcome your little instances of parasitic thought. You can overcome those because you have your eye on the unity of the goal. Why do you want more work-life balance? Why do you want to dive into those hobbies? I want a side passive income. Why do you want a side passive income? I want to be able to have a more flexible work structure. Why do you want a more flexible work structure? One day I want to be wife and kids, and I want to also still have my own income. Like, boom! Then that's why you're doing it. I want to have childcare, but I also want to have my own money coming in, or maybe I'm a single parent, or maybe that's a plan that I have, or maybe I want the side income because I want to eventually not work a structured job for someone else. Maybe I want to be my own boss. So now that is the reason you get the F up and do the thing. You make it that big. You make it that big. So when the parasite tells you, don't do the thing, let's just sit down and relax. Sure, go ahead. But like, take the goal that you just manifested in your mind, you visualized your future, and throw it away. Go ahead. It's your life. Go ahead. Now, if you think scrolling on your phone or I don't even know. I don't know what's lackadaisical things that people do that are very distracting. I sometimes have a problem with the scrolling, so that's like mine. But you know what I'm talking about. The other things that you think are important that you're making time for, relaxing with your feet up, like you would be more relaxed if also all of those procrastinations were accomplished because they're running through your mind. So that's just an example procrastination. We can go down another avenue of an example as well. Like, let's see. It's common belief or common goal for your healing journey. Why do I need to provide myself grace right now? Why do I need grace in this moment? Okay, because I'm feeling overwhelmed. I'm feeling stressed out. Why am I feeling overwhelmed? Why am I feeling stressed? Because I'm feeling triggered, but I also feel like I should be healed already, and I'm having anxiety over the fact that I've been triggered and I'm hiding that from people. Okay, rise above. What's your goal? You want to heal. So it don't matter what you think you need to do. You've got tools. You know what you need to do. You need to reach out. You need to communicate. You need to express yourself. You need to say, I feel like this blank because blank. I feel this way blank. That's advocating for yourself. It doesn't matter. It's not for others. You're doing that because you and yourself are now getting on the same page as the same overlying goal, and now nothing else stands in your way. You're not thinking about, well, how others are going to perceive me, or I should be healed already. That was so long ago. Why is this still bothering me? Does it matter? No, because your goal is the healing journey. So you rise above all of those parasitic thoughts to find the compassionate, full of grace thought, because that's the common goal. I am healing. Or I am accomplishing, or I am motivated, I am blah, blah, blah. You take all the thousands of different perspectives, ideas, whatever, and you simplify that into one I am statement. In a sense. I am accomplishing, I am motivating, I am self-growing, I am maturing, I am evolving, I am... You see how that then goes to a positive affirmation? So when you got a lot of this going on, and everything seems like so many different moving parts, and you can't get your focus, find your unity. What unionizes all of this into one actionable item, one actionable proactive, workable goal. I don't know why that's so hard to say. So when you start to second guess, you start to question, you start to whatever, got too many ideas, too many things going on, what's your one common goal? What do you want from your life? What is important to you? What do you want? What do you want to gain? What do you want to learn? What do you want to do in your future? Whatever. Because every action within today dictates your future. So even if it's providing that self-compassion and that self-grace for that difficult, challenging, healing day, that's what you do. That doesn't mean that you're out of alignment with your progress of accomplishing, because if your whole entire goal is like the healing journey, then like what comes with the healing journey is, yeah, you still have success. Success still comes. Abundance still finds you. So it just means honoring the alignment that you're in, the healing, as well as the building a lifestyle that supports you in the ways of monetary, blah, 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 blah. So having that common goal, and then you're breaking it down to what it is I need to reach that common goal. And that's why, like, I know abundance comes through the healing journey. I know that. So now I have to focus on, I'm still on the healing journey. I'm not moving out of alignment. So even though on a day where I'm focusing my healing on making sure that I'm resting and just eating food and doing meditations and stretches and things that like gets my mentality back to where I want it to be, that's not pushing me out of alignment of my goal of also abundance, because abundance and healing journey go together. So you can be on the healing journey and also still be a successful person. They are all, because the goal is still that it's for self-healing, self-growth, self-evolution. So what comes along with all of that, almost as a side coincidence, if you're focusing on that, the majority, yes, monetary abundance does come with that. How? It's going to look different for everybody, but they go hand in hand. So you're not like, it's not like, because that's what we feel like we do in the beginning of the journey. We've got all these things that we need to like work on about ourselves. So we jump over here. Now I'm going to do this. Then we jump over here. Now I'm going to do this. But you're not in alignment. Who are you authentically? Accept all parts of self. Define major goal. And overcome challenges to reach that main goal. Eliminate the cloudy clarity. Eliminate that by stepping off all the different paths. Do I want to be a hustle boss babe queen, or do I want healing journey? Like, what am I trying to be here? Am I trying to be this? Am I trying to be that? Be you. What's the overall encompassing theme of who you are based off of all of your pieces? And dedicate your life to that goal and supporting that goal. Now, that doesn't mean that other things come into that because when you're in alignment, things will come into that path that will also bring you closer to your goal, but also flourish you and thrive you in other aspects of life. Because as long as you are authentically aligned, then you can start that healing journey. You can begin this. You can start making these changes and evolutionizing your life into a point where you blinked and all of a sudden your entire lifestyle supports your mental health. If that's your biggest challenge. And as long as my mental health is supported, I can attract all the monetary abundance. See how that goes? So what's your main challenge? What's your main thing? You know, what's your main goal for yourself during this journey of self-mastery? Because like at this point, we should know ourselves a little bit, at least enough to know that like I'm committed to the healing journey. That's just where I'm at based off the slew of trauma I've gone through and the CPTSD. It's very hard to just like be out there raw dogging life. Like, no, I had to break it down and rebuild it to one that supports me. So what's something that maybe you look at as a kryptonite, but where in turn, if you were to support said kryptonite, it wouldn't be a difference. It wouldn't be a hindrance on you any longer, but it would become the support. So yeah, for me, that healing journey, maybe yours is I want more. I want to accomplish more. So you gotta be on. You have to rise over the procrastination to the accomplishment. But that also is aligned with who you are authentically. Are you hustle boss queen babe, or are you more like sensitive and slow to go and slow to grow? Meaning like not in a bad way, but like slow and steady wins the race. Because that's your dualistic options that come along with accomplishing. So which one are you? And now you choose, and then that is now the plan to get to where you're trying to go. If you're hustle boss queen babe though, you also have to make sure that you're balancing in rest. So then that'll open another avenue of what you need to work on to maintain alignment. You're going to also need to counteract how much you hustle during the day with how much you can maintain reestablishing that alignment and getting back in touch with self. And then on the adverse, if you're slow to grow, slow and steady wins the race, you have to ask yourself, am I still progressing though? Am I still pushing myself to the next thing, or am I staying in my comfort zone a little too long? Or, new idea, let's expand my comfort zone. So I don't necessarily have to leave my comfort zone to accomplish something. I can just expand my comfort zone. Now that is playing into, now you're still in alignment of accomplishing, but you're figuring out that if you're choosing this end, you need more inner work, self-mastery that helps you grow your comfort zone. And if you're on this end, hustle boss queen babe, you're going to need the rest and recouping tools to maintain your alignment with your goal. So that's how you'll always be presented with the dual choices, like we mentioned in the last video. You're always going to get the two. When you rise above and find that unity, you're still going to even get two, but you're not going to have like thousands. You're not going to have like, I could do this, I could do that, I could do this. I hate this about me. I hate that about myself. I wish I could change this. I don't like this. That's too much. Unionize this. And that's how you'll also help find your alignment with your authentic nature. Like unionize all the crap into this one thing you can kind of like mess with. And then the one topic will then produce you back just the two options. And both have proactive, actionable plans and structures and tools. Both of them have it. So just which one aligns with who you are authentically. And that's what plays into why I stress so hard, know thyself. Know thyself. Not know thyself and then do the opposite because you think someone else wants not what you know. See, that's where it gets weird. Like, why do we do that? But that's like the human condition. We often fall prey to that. We fall into that. But it's not for other people. You need to do things that are authentically aligned with you because, like we mentioned a handful of videos back, your authentic vibrational output is the permanent address for your blessings to find you. So if you people please or you alter yourself to fit into a group or whatever the situation is, you step out of that alignment, you're offered the two, and when you go to choose one, you want this one, you want the slow to grow, you want the, slow and steady wins the race, but you think your dad or your parents or your partner or your friends want to see hustle boss queen babe, but that's not who you are, but you choose it for that appearance. Now you're out of alignment. You chose the wrong one. Now you're off track. So it is simple like that. And like we get so lost without the unity. We have to create the unity inside of ourselves, a full self-accept, so that we can say, okay, doesn't mean you're not going to evolve and grow. Maybe today you need more time and more stillness and more peace. And as you get better at laying the brickwork of this foundation and maintaining yourself amongst the slow to rise, eventually, yeah, you will be faster. You will be doing more. You will be producing more. You will be accomplishing more. Like, it will happen. So that builds the structure, the framework for a self-sustainable outcome too when it's slow to grow like that. So, and if that's who you truly are, then you need to accept that, but also then maintain that alignment, but also that self-discipline to grow. You're not pushing yourself exceeding your capabilities if you maintain alignment. Then you're just evolving and growing. So, right, you're at one point you will be at the same level, let's say, as hustle boss queen babe, but you're going to be maybe let's say calmer about it because it took you a long time to get there, and now that you're there, it's kind of just second nature, or first nature even. What theme suits you authentically the best? And that's so when there's 1,000 things going on, unionize yourself, pick the one goal, then you'll get your 2 branches. Perfect. Unionize self, Like, there's a bunch of parts of our brain that are self-destructive. That's just how it is. Now, you could go into those parts of those brains, a part of that brain parts, and you can reprogram them to not self-destruct. Yet, if you have mental health issues, you still might have that. Yet still be in alignment and building your life, working towards a goal. And that's fine. But you have to keep maintaining this repetition of choosing authenticity every single time. And it is that deep. Even if it comes to like, oh, do you want to get ice cream? Not really, but everyone's getting ice cream, so I guess I'll get ice cream. Nope, you already ruined it. You're already out of alignment. You changed your zip code. You changed your address. Now your blessings can't find you. Law of attraction's kaput. Because who are you? And this also just makes life way simpler. Way simpler. Who are you as a person? You don't know that yet? Then don't do anything. Just get to know that, Mirror reflect yourself through your actions. Why did I do that? Why did I say that? Did I act out of an emotion embodiment? Or is that like who I am and what I really think? Like, question everything about yourself and your thinking process and everything. Like, just question it all. Why did I do that? 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 And have a little inner vocalization about it. Because that helps you understand your core. Know thyself, and then master thyself. And right, if I keep mastering this healing journey, who's to know the powers I can evolve into? Who's to know my future, right? Because that's my main thing, like procrastination was that main thing in that other example, but that is my main thing that I need to kind of, just get on the other side of and just keep maintaining my balance within that journey. And then the rest just seems to follow me. So, it is that deep. Every thought needs to go checked, not unchecked. Every action needs to be checked. Everything. Ask yourself, why am I doing that? Is that coming from a place of authenticity, or did I choose the wrong side? And you know what else? It's also okay to figure that out and then go back. Don't worry about it. At least you figured it out now. There's no one's grading you. Like, you're going to be fine. So even if you don't know you're hustle boss queen babe or not, and you didn't know that you were more like calm queen babe versus hustle queen babe, and you think you're hustle queen babe and you do that for a month and you crash and burn, that's fine. That doesn't mean your life sucks. Doesn't mean the people in your life sucks. It doesn't mean that. All it means is you chose the wrong thing. So it's cool. It's just recognize that you're out of alignment and get back in it. It's no big deal. Don't also rip the people down when you go into the wrong end. Like, they might be thriving in that. You're just not. So don't judge people either for what they have capacity to do and what you have capacity to do. Like, no judgments here, guys. Just observe. Hey, I'm in the wrong room. Nobody's wearing a fuzzy sweater or something with color on it. I'm in the wrong room. Everyone's got blazers on and like shiny pleather shoes. You're in the wrong. Personally, that means I'm in the wrong room. So like figure out your red flags to knowing when you're in the wrong room based off of your choices. And that's just a recognition of being out of alignment. So then just move back into alignment. Don't punish yourself. Don't punish the other people. It's just an observation of recognition. That's all it is. So unionize yourself. Get into a union, a common belief, a common understanding, a common moral, maybe even whatever your common thing. And honestly, it's allowed to change as the years go. This isn't something that flip flops every month. Trust me, who you are at your core is who you are at your core. But sometimes what we unionize over could change, but yet it's still coming from a place of who you are at your core. Like if you're a flower pot and I break the flower pot, I could glue that flower pot back together in a bunch of different ways. But there's really only one way I could put that flower pot together where it will hold water again and flowers. So figure out, are you a flower pot? Are you a bowl? Are you a plate? Like, just whatever that concept is, like, that's who you are. So, right, I could put other things in the flower pot. It doesn't always have to be flowers. But at the end of the day, I'm a flower pot. And that's okay. Don't try and glue me together, like, as a modern art piece. Because, like, I don't really like modern art. See, that's another thing. That's a very honest rating on modern art, right? That's me. I don't like modern art. That's okay. You're allowed to have a personal truth like that. You don't have to go, I don't like modern art, but I can try to like it because you say that it's good and that it's new and it's something that I have to try and like. No, I don't. I don't like it. Like, it's fine. Yes, can I understand the artist? Can I understand the concept? Sure. Can I rally behind that concept and that artist? Hell yeah. Will I hang that art in my house? No. See the difference? And that has a lot to do with what you accept too, in and out of your soul and your heart. I can understand your truth. I can understand and I can appreciate it and I can rally behind it, but I don't want that in my heart. I don't want that on my heart. I don't want that on my walls. Like, I just, like, go you. Like, that's your passion. That's your excitement. That's your fire. I'm not going to tell somebody that their fire is not the right fire. No, we need so many different fires to create the multifaceted human experience. So, yeah, works for you, doesn't work for me. That's fine. Don't have to demonize it, though. I'm just not going to hang the art in my house. All right. That was a good analogy, but yeah, that's basically what it is. Know thyself. Be honest. And who gives a shit if you offend people? If they get offended, that's sad. Because I'm open to learn. Doesn't mean I'm still going to buy the art and put it in my house. I'll listen about it. I'm not going to be closed-minded. But I visually still don't like it. Do I understand your concept? Hell yeah, that's awesome. That's super powerful. I love that for you. See, yeah. But me, authentically, I want a freaking kitty cat on my wall. Like, whatever. And that's fine. It's your house. Your inner world is your house. Decorate it the way you want. So every room you walk into, you're like, hell yeah. This is me. This is me. Not the programming of my parents. Not the programming of society. Not the programming of my boss. Not the programming of my friends. Not the programming of drama. Not the programming of my neighbor. This is me. Every house. Every room of the house. You picked out the colors. You picked out the decor. Right. Inner world's gotta look like that. All right. Have a great day, guys. I'm gonna go for a walk in the park.